Radio Raheem here with Michael Buffer, the voice of boxing, and also always the guy that's dressed better than me no matter how hard I try. Michael, you will be, giving the fans your signature phrase on this magnanimous occasion come May 2nd. Is this the biggest fight for you in boxing, for all the things that you've been a part of?
I've been a part of a lot of really great promotions and a lot of really big events, but at this point, and up until May 2nd, I think we can all agree this is the biggest fight and the biggest promotion that I've ever seen. Hopefully, after May 2nd, we can say, wow, that was the greatest fight in history. That's what you always have to wait for is what happens afterwards. But I really think it'll be a great night for boxing.
There are a lot of journalists and analysts that, give the fans their perspective on fights and have seen so much, but you have maybe seen more than most of the most storied analysts out there. So when you look at this fight, I know that you're probably not going to be able to give us a prediction, but give us from side to side, Manny Pacquiao's strength, Floyd Mayweather's strength, based on your experience in boxing, how you see the fight shaping up.
You have two fighters that each have the will to win. There's no doubt in my mind about that. They're comfortable in their own skin. They have no problem training, making weight, staying in shape all year round. I mean, you have all the elements of a great fight. Sometimes you'll have a great fight in the past. They'll say, well, Muhammad Ali got fat and he had to lose weight or whatever. Just these crazy little things. Both of these guys going into this fight are mentally and will be physically, totally physically prepared. So to me, I see it as a matter of the will to win, which they both have, and who will be able to impose his will that night on May 2nd.
HBO and Showtime had to come together and make terms to where they could each show this fight simultaneously. Well, there's some business there for you too. You, I would say, is the voice of boxing. I think that's fair. Are you going to be the one to give the phrase and start the fight? Are you going to be the one to read the decision? Have these things been worked out?
Yeah, from what I understand, there's a few other elements involved, but as a promoter who's worked for Top Rank for many years, I'm not an employee of HBO. I'll be there to introduce Manny Pacquiao, and Jimmy Lennon Jr., Hall of Fame announcer with Showtime, will be there for his network and introduce Manny Mayweather, who has a contract with Showtime. So we'll each do the introductions of the respective fighters, and the rest can just be worked out later. It's no problem.
And lastly, Michael, there's a guy walking down right behind you that calls himself TBE. That's the best ever. I'm asking you, is he the best you've ever seen?
The best ever?
Yes. They call him Floyd Mayweather when they don't call him TBE, when he's not calling himself that. Yes, that guy.
Well, of course, the greatest of all times would have to be the greatest of all times, Muhammad Ali. And Sugar Ray Robinson was pretty good in his day. So I think you finally decide who's the best when they retire, and then you look back. Just like this fight is going to be the biggest fight in history, but we won't know if it'll be the greatest fight in history until May 3rd, the day after. So we'll have to wait and see. But Floyd is a pretty damn good fighter. Never lost, really undefeated, and he plans on staying that way. So.
Thank you, Michael Buffer. It's a pleasure to talk to you, just to hear your voice, and I will continue to strive to meet your standard of excellence in dress. Radio Raheem with Michael Buffer, the voice of boxing.